defense, which gave up an opening drive touchdown, they've got to go out there now and start playing like the team they want to be.
We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
6 man. Check curls, check curls, check curls.
On second down, it's Coleman, and he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box, and guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
Jackson now. He's going to fire one deep, middle of, and got his man, complete. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. How about this first quarter for them throwing the football?
This defense has zero answers for what they've seen so far with the ball in the air. I'm not sure how they're going to change things around, but offensively, I keep attacking. I keep throwing the football until they make me change.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24.
Good work, boys. Let's go.
6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
And this is going to be intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. And he will take it out to the 25-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
All day, baby, all day.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 to score as they start 1st and 10. He's going to go up top again. And that's caught inside the 30. And finally out of bounds all the way down at about the 2. A huge play there for Arizona. 73 yards. They come out here in the I. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. They'll try and punch it in. Gordon. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Noy shifts past him. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
So 3rd and goal, and the 49er faithful making some noise for their defense. Murray now, 3rd and goal. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. Andy Isabella, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Let's go.
At their own 26-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive, followed by an interception last time. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Corey Peters slipping in and getting the sack. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
It's a gain of 6.
Key 26, key 26.
On third down, Jackson got his target, Samuel. It'll go as a first down for San Francisco on a pickup of 16.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Yeah. Mike, 50.
Smell fear in that offense.
On first down, Coleman. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, baby.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
It's me and you.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson, man open, it's Goodwin. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 15 for the Niners there and a first down. So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Now Jackson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, it's Coleman. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
They don't want it, fellas.
Now we've got whistles and a timeout here. Yeah, it looks like we've got a 49er that's down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. The Niners on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Jackson. And this is caught off the deflection. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down.
Now that's a defensive coordinator's nightmare right there. You're covering everyone, and the guy's not even the intended receiver ends up making the play.
Right place, right time, I guess.
When that ball's tipped up in the air like that, you've got to go up and get it. Offense and defense. And in this case, the offense ended up grabbing it.
The former Purdue Boilermaker, Raheem Mostert. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles? The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Now on 2nd and 13. Jackson throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. The safety, Buda Baker, there to force the incompletion.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
58's the mic, 58. 58's the mic.
You ain't going nowhere.
58's the mic.
Play action. It's Jackson. Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. Now it's Gold after splitting the uprights to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13.
Let's get in there. Let's get in there, Hal.
He's checking.
Now Murray throwing on 2nd down. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together.
Mike's 5'9", Mike's 5'9".
Murray with a 3rd and long. He's got his man. It's Butler. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
It's a gain of 20. 1st down, Cardinals.
Ready. Sam, check Mike 54. Mike.
Throwing on 1st down is Murray. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And he's got Rome. And he gets it down deep into San Francisco territory. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their 2nd, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw, it's Murray. And he's got it. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1.
We're going to work.
12 more yards there and another 1st down.
1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. 1st and goal, Melvin Gordon. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. The Cardinals forced to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. 2nd and goal from the 6 this time. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Nick Bosa, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Gonna throw deep for the end zone, and that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Check. 45's the mic. Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it. Wait, bring it.
A toss play, Gordon. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Don't be mad. It's more coming.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
It's our field. Hey, it's our house.
Looking to throw on second down. Murray. This one caught by Isabella. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 43.
It's a gain of 17.
Play fake. Murray. Sliding out of the pocket. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. D Ford just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down.
Say.
Here's Murray from midfield. And his throw is incomplete. Andy Isabella was the intended target, and that'll make it third down.
His struggles finding open receivers continue. I don't know the last time I saw him this inconsistent throwing the football.
It would be hard to find a date when he was this inconsistent. You know, in his locker, he keeps the word poise printed on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. He needs to find that poise right now.
He certainly does. In fact, I would suggest he laminate it.
They're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23.
First down, Cardinals.
Here we go. 45. Mike, 45. Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Murray now on first down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's second down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
Watch out.
On the delayed handoff, this is Gordon. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Kill. Check 13.
Third and 2, and here's Murray. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up fourth down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's fourth down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. So they come away from this opening drive of the third quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, and that has to be job 1, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you've got most of the second half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
This one fielded at the 5. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line.
At their own 32-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it first and 10. Pretty nice work defensively there on the first down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. Tackle made by Tanner Vallejo. Throwing on second and 8. Jackson.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
That's where you belong.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
You gonna get this, boy? You think you gonna get this? You think you gonna get this?
To throw on third down, Jackson. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That's good for 28 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They'll run on first down. It's Coleman, and he won't get much. Maybe a couple down inside the 35 to the 34. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jackson, touchdown, 49ers. Deebo Samuel, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to regain the lead. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is in a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Gold able to tack on the extra point, and that makes it a 17-10 score. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
25-yard line.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They find themselves down 17-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10.
54. Mike 54.
First down, Murray. That'll be taken in by Damiere Byrd. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. A gain of 10, first down, Arizona.
SOS.
Now Murray off play action. Buying time to his left. And the Niners get there and bring him down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Able to find Isabella. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 11 and a Cardinal first down. Murray now to throw, escaping the pressure right. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 16 yards there, and it's a Cardinals first down as well.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's Cardinal football, but they trail here as we get set to bring you the 4th and final quarter. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Mike the 59. Get in the weight room. Get in the weight room. Mike's 5'9". Mike's 5'9". They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still playing.
2nd down, Murray sets to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side, and it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Akella Witherspoon. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
Right over there, right over there.
Last drive,
Mike,
a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Tanner Vallejo. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8. The Niners on 3rd down. They have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. From the gun, it's Jackson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
34 yards on the return. But for a moment, looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And the Cardinals, great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10.
Check, 59. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the twist. Twist.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Christian Kirk, his 4th touchdown on the year. As they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point. A very important extra point there, up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th. 17-17 the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
You remember me?
Jackson. That's complete to his speedy wideout Goodwin. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Here's Coleman. And an alley to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First down, San Francisco. The pickup, 14 yards. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
I'm letting you know right now, you better bring it. They're coming.
On 2nd down now, it's Coleman. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
Set, ready. The mic. 60 out low. Green. Pass. Mike's 43. Let's go. Trouble. Let's go. Kill. Turn. Kill.
From the gun, Jackson. Throws right side, and that's complete.
We got
a really
this.
good pickup of 28 yards. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On first down, Coleman. He will push his way down to about the 14. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long.
43's the mic. 43's the mic. Come off the ball hard. 43's the mic.
Throwing now is Jackson.
Hey, defense. Hey, defense, let's go.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. Well, they thought they were going to break the tie. The defense had other plans. They were already in field goal range, but boom, an interception.
I don't know if this was a case of being a little bit too greedy with the opportunity to put points on the board, but give credit to the guys on the defensive side. Hung in there, battled, and made a key play.
Here's Murray. Open man is Kirk, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. He got 29 yards that time.
At this stage, you've got to hustle. You've got to get back to the line of scrimmage because you're saving that timeout to make sure you have a chance to get your kicker out there for the big shot.
We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. Well, I guess at the very least, they got the tackle from keeping him out of the end zone.
Yeah, you're looking for that silver lining, aren't you? But guess what? Everything changes now after that big play. They've got a chance to strike.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. They come out here in the
right there. 54
2nd and goal from the 1.
Check tight. Check tight.
Murray keeps it himself. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Now, that was a little too conservative for my liking. It's only 2nd down, and they try to run the sneak. Give credit to the defense. They pushed them back and set up 3rd down.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd? And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime. They just likely won this thing in regulation.
And that's in this time frame, that's like a big reveal at the end of a great movie, isn't it? Out of nowhere, almost, it appears. They get it done. How about that score?
Finishes like this is why we love sports. This is why we love the game of football.
So glad that we got to be here to watch this one.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short of the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 16. And that is going to seal this victory as time runs out.
Baby, all day, baby.
Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here. Coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it. And
we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it, and they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
So for the Cards, Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders.
Let's go.
White down.
Mike's 5-4. Big stop, D. Big stop. Let's go. Check. Check.
They run it with a rookie from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs with his first career NFL touchdown as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. Here's Dalvin Cook, 3rd year back from Florida State. And he will fight his way forward to about the 23-yard line.
Get him, boy.
Vontaze Perfect, the one to get him down.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
You see me?
Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Mike 5-5. I got you, son. I got you, son.
55's mine, guys. 55.
They can't hang with us.
Third and long for Cousins.
Hey, eat.
I'm here all day.
And he's able to find Diggs. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. 25 yards that time.
Let's go.
I know at the end of games, coaches always tell us that no one play won or lost a game. This seems pretty important early, doesn't it? Their ability to pick up that first down on third down, I thought that was key.
Well, you're already in the hole after the touchdown on the other side. How will you respond? We talk about that a lot. And they responded pretty well there. You go 3 and out, I think you give up a lot of momentum. You get down 2 scores, could be an entirely different game.
So they've got a nice drive going now. They're in good shape. What's interesting to me is they're also in that spot of the field where you would take a shot. Do you change that up just because you're down a touchdown?
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a
51
3rd and
to Mike,
11.
boys. 51. Woo-hoo!
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And it's a fumble. And the Raiders pick it up. And the return across midfield and to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, baby. That's our ball.
And great effort. Does he get burned for that in film? He fought through some tackles. End result, though, a fumble.
It's going to be one of those situations where he'll get yelled at about the fumble,
Watch 54.
but at the same time get a check mark for the extra effort. And so it's one of those tough, tricky things for coaches. You don't want to coach it out of them so much that you take away the effort. You just want them to be conscious of taking care of the football.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Hey, we're good. Deuce right, Chief.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Let's go.
Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Pretty solid run here on first down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Check 26.
Check. Fresno.
On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10.
22 jet bomber.
Now they'll throw with Carr. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Darren Waller, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. They've got to be thrilled on the road right now. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, and quickly trying to make it 14-0.
Yeah, and mentioned it already. On the road, to be able to go into someone else's house and establish a start like that, obviously your confidence rises in a big way, and you're putting some doubt in their minds.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Keep playing hard.
First and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Tahir Whitehead leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long.
Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Go, Mike 51. Mike 51. Hey, let's calm down. Hey, let's go. Let's calm down.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
Mike 51. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Cousins gives way to Cook. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
You got him.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. Dancing to his left. He's going to take off with it. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
A gain of 2 brings up 3rd and 7.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14. Vikings, nothing.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, here's Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down.
Get him, boy.
Tahir Whitehead picks up his
D.
2nd sack of the afternoon. The Vikings send out their punter. Back deep for the Raiders, Dwayne Harris. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here. They could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
On 2nd down now, it's Jacobs. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29. 5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
29. Hey, Alpha.
From the gun now on 3rd down, Carr able to find Walter. That's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland 1st down. 2nd year in Oakland for Walter after being signed off the Ravens practice squad, but only 6 catches, 75 yards a season ago. Then he got a lot of hype in the offseason following OTAs. Their offensive coordinator saying, you know, Darren, you have that position. Coach Gruden went as far as to say, Darren, you have the chance of a lifetime here. Well, now it's time for Darren Waller to go out there and prove it. Solid gain of 18 and a Raider 1st down. from Viking territory now. They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 43.
Hey.
Protein spill.
24. Watch.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, baby.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They got to feel pretty good about that one.
Bring it. Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping. Check 43.
Bang! Bang, bang!
On 2nd down, it's Jacobs.
Run!
It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
You ain't doing nothing today.
Letter 9.
Mike,
Orbit.
Mike 54. Night, sweetheart.
Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. Able to find Harris, complete. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 22-yard line.
First down, Raiders.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Hey, Foxtrot.
On 2nd and 2, Carr flushed out right. He'll swing this one out to Richard, and he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
And Derek Carr just keeps improving. He can be dangerous, not just inside the pocket, but as we see here, outside of it as well.
Kid born in California, played his high school ball in Texas, had quarterback written all over him. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try to put it in that way.
And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Well, they've got it down to the 3, but now this is 3rd and goal.
Check Nick.
Check 52.
Monday down.
Slayer.
61. Matchbox lights. Express.
Motion.
93.
Mike 54.
Raider 9.
Get that quarterback, D-line. Get that quarterback, D-line. D-line, get that quarterback.
Carr gives to Richard. And he's over the line and in for a Raider touchdown. Jalen Richard, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage.
Coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3 and out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And
the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Watch the curls.
On third down, Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10.
Mike 55, Mike move. Watch a slant, watch a slant.
Throwing, Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
We got to get to the ball,
and that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call? Yeah. We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going. They just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Pick there by Nick Nelson. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
All day, baby.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down.
I'm coming for you. You mine.
93. 93.
Mike's 5'4", Mike's 5'4".
Watch the flood. Watch the flood.
This is Rashard. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. That one a first down pickup of 8.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Down.
54's Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. All right, D. Let's. All right, D.
They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the 24-yard line.
Mike
Down.
54. Mike
180.
54.
180. We're good. 180. White Monday.
25.
Express.
Now Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Darren Waller, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Carlson now to add the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now.
Raiders 28, Vikings nothing.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Let's go, baby.
And with the play clock reading 4, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Trying to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Cousins to throw it. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Off the play fake, Cousins. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
Watch the run. Watch the run.
On fourth down, they do snap it to Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Three buzz. Shift.
Carr going to give it to Jacobs. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, but sometimes the other guys make a play against you. What's that expression they like to use in the NFL? Those guys get paid too, you know.
Yeah, in college they say, hey, they're on scholarship too. In the NFL, they're getting paid too. With the day he's had, you can have one go in the wrong direction. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Let's go. Let's do this.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a 1st down with a nice throw.
Monday, down. Blue 80.
Mike 54. Mike 54.
Let's go, D.
Six guys.
They'll run on 1st down. Jacobs. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line.
They don't want it,
3
brothers.
yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Keep playing
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Once again, it's Jacobs. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it'll set him up 1st and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown.
Touchdown.
3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr as his guys continue to pour it on. He's been a frequent target, and with catches like that, one-handed in the end zone, I'd keep going his way.
And he's doing it every which way, isn't he? 2 hands, and in this case, we just saw it with 1 hand. Almost reminds me of a great return of service guy in tennis. No matter how you whack it at him, it comes back at you. In this case, he just envelops it and brings it in.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more.
Vikings, nothing.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for it. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run. To throw is Cousins.
And that might be exactly what they need.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Boom!
Maurice Hurst
Sack, baby!
Forced his way through, drops him for a loss of 10 yards. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Cousins now. Over the middle, it's complete. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. The Vikings on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 7. Well, he's going to go for it all. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle.
Dan Bailey to kick off for Minnesota.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown.
The Raiders take over.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts.
Don't be mad.
And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said,
54, right there.
just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
That one, a first down pickup of 8.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Mike 54.
Come on, D.
Now a give to Jacobs running right.
Check.
And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard.
Watch twist. Watch twist.
Here's Jacobs. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
Come on now, let's go.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
3 down. Odd.
On first down, it's Jacobs. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Eric Kendricks, the Vikings' leading tackler a season ago, in on the stop.
Safety creep.
Throwing on second down. Carr. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however, and let's see what that's about. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. Here's the correct call.
The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Army.
Check three.
Now a carry for Jacobs. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. In on the stop there, Andrew Sendejo. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On second down now, it's Jacobs. He will push his way down to about the 14. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
Watch 55. Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
On the draw, Richard. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Daniel Carlson on for the field goal. A 31-yard attempt.
The kick by Carlson is good, and that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
That'll be taken in the end zone.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
At their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've lost this one. The offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams...
That's caught inside the 20. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. They go play action. Cousins keeps himself upright. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
I know he ain't got it.
Check, 55 to Mike. Check, 55 to Mike.
I got one.
Now Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen.
Come on,
An
baby.
excellent
Let's
pickup
go.
of 20 yards.
It's a gain of 20.
Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
So this one, a victory for the Oakland Raiders. And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any
The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock.